Should you or should you not share the name of the product or the company that you're representing in network marketing? That's what we're going to talk about. Over the last probably 20 years, network marketing really has blown up. There are thousands of companies, great fits for every kind of individual there is. There's one debate that seems to be going on right now, and that is whether or not you should be showing the name of your product or your company in social media. Now, I'm specifically talking about TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. If you are going to be doing videos on YouTube, you definitely want to talk about your product and your company. Otherwise, it's like, what are you doing? Because over here, it's a search engine. People are specifically looking for that thing. But also you can be using any cutesy nicknames that you might have for your specific product. So I'm going to be using this as an example. Social media really started kicking off and people started taking advantage of the fact that you can use social media to promote your company or your products. It was a lot of this, like, drink this, buy me, look at this, look what I'm doing. And initially that worked a little bit, but then eventually people got tired of it because people don't like to be sold to. People love to buy and they love benefits. What is it gonna do for me? We went too far into the shoving the product into the camera. Look at this product, look at the shake, look at this, look at this, look at this. And people really got turned off and just got sick of it. Here is the disconnect. Showing somebody the name of your product or the name of the company doesn't do anything for anybody else. It doesn't make them say, I've got to have that. Right? They're just like, okay, there's that, whatever that is, especially if you're not talking about the benefits of the product or the benefits of the company. So then what happened in the last 5 to 8 years is we did a huge marketing shift in the network marketing industry where it's like, oh, well, don't show the name, just like cover it up or do the back or make it like this, you know, something to where it was a little more secretive because it piqued curiosity. Because if you're talking about, oh, I'm drinking this drink, oh, look at this fancy drink, it's so pretty. And then people are like, oh, well, what is it? It causes them to come to you, otherwise known as attraction marketing, and they are in the conversation. So now it's not a cold lead. You've warmed that lead up. They're asking you about the name of your product, and then you are free to talk to them about it. This worked really well for quite some time too, because it changed the way that marketing was done with network marketing. It wasn't just shoving a product in your face. It was piquing curiosity. So then you're like, oh, I want to know what that is. It's because we, in our brains as humans, we're very curious. So if somebody's talking about something and dropping little hints like, oh, this little drink helped me to lose 3 times the weight in less time, then people are like, well, what is it, right? What is it? What is it? So it gets you into more conversations and saying, drink Zip Slim, you'll lose 3 times the weight. Well, then people are just gonna go running off, looking up Zip Slim, looking up like, what, you know, do I need this? Is it expensive? What does it do for me? Like, why is it junk? Why is it great? Whatever, right? And they're gonna form their own conclusions without ever having discussed it with you. And you have no idea that what you talked about on your social media actually piqued interest, but they went elsewhere to go find the answers and not to you because you gave them everything. So we moved into this whole curiosity marketing with attraction marketing, and it does work very well for the most part. However, last couple of years or so, I would say people are getting really tired of the curiosity marketing where you're not saying what it is. And so if you are hiding the name of your company, hiding the name of your product, people are just like, whatever, oh, she's one of those, she's gonna hide it so that she can bombard me in my private messages. So it's kind of a song and dance with network marketing, like a constant being able to evolve and pivot a little bit, like not too much, because you want to keep them guessing. But there's really, there's different mindsets on this, and there's some really amazing trainers out there in the network marketing profession that will tell you still to this day, don't show the name of the product, don't show the name of the company. And then there are some people like Jessie Lee Ward, God rest her soul, that was like, I'm proud to represent my product. I want you to know that I represent my product. And if you find out about the product and you don't know anybody else that sells it, but you know that I do because I'm in your face all over social media, then you're coming to me. So it really comes down to the big thing that we've learned here, especially in the last few years, is that personal branding is king. That is what is really going to set you apart from anybody else in the network marketing space. So when you build a personal brand, you're not making it about your product all the time. You are talking about the things that are important to you, things that you want to share, knowledge that you have that you want to get out into the world, and you're going to attract a certain person to you. And by doing so, they will get interested in what you're doing. You know, like for instance, this video is not about product that I am taking, but I'm going to put a link in the description below so that you can take a look. If it's something that you're interested in, you can click it, get a $30 off coupon. If not, no big deal. Okay. If it's something that you think, you know, I kind of like her, I've clicked with her, I would like to actually join her in a business, then I'll leave that link below too. But this video is not about that. It's about whether you should show the name of your product or company out to the world. It really comes down to personal opinion, what you feel most comfortable with, because there are lots of trainers out there. Majority of trainers right now are telling you don't show the name of it because they want you to create curiosity with your product. And I completely understand that. To a point, that is really good, but it can get a little old and annoying depending on who your audience is. If your audience doesn't care about that, then no big deal. And maybe you should just ask them. Put it in your stories, put a poll in there and say, do you like it when people hide the name of products, or does it not bother you? Like, how do you feel about it? Have conversations and don't be afraid of that feedback if you really want the answer to how you're promoting your product or your company. The pros of not showing the name of your product or your company, it can create curiosity with your audience, meaning that they reach out to you, meaning you don't have to prospect as much, you are in more conversations. And the fact that you're not shoving it in their faces, so they're not getting tired of seeing that over and over and over again. If somebody is curious, they can't just take the name of the product and go Google it and figure it out because they're not sure what they're looking for. So they have to come to you. On the other hand, if they're very curious, but they really don't feel like having that conversation with you, they just want to take a look at some information and you're hiding it from them, you have no idea how many leads you could potentially be losing because they just don't feel comfortable reaching out to you. I've had multiple people in the past tell me like, I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to ask you about it. So I just said, forget it. Or if they really are passionate about, like, I really want to know what this is, but they just really don't want to have a conversation, because let's be real, a lot of people just try to avoid the conversation because nobody wants to be hounded. If you ask a question about a product, then they will find out if they really want to find out. The nickname for this is Sliminade. How many nicknames of Sliminade are there out there? I don't know of any other ones. So if somebody goes and says, okay, well, I don't know what the real name of this is, but she's calling it Sliminade, so I'm going to look up Sliminade. It probably wouldn't take too long to figure out, especially on Facebook, because there's Sliminade pages and all that kind of stuff. So then they're going to find out who that is. And then guess what? They're probably going to buy from that person that they figured out what the name of it was, because they might have forgotten that you were the one that had it initially. Or they might just be like, well, I mean, she was hiding it, so I'm going to buy it from this person who's not hiding it. That is a con of not showing the name of the product. Lastly, what I will say is this. What if you build this huge business or huge brand based on, using your company's name and the name of the product? So you have a personal brand, but people know what company you represent. So what happens if you decide to move to another company? Does that hurt your credibility? Number one, I would say if you've built a good personal brand, it doesn't matter. People are going to trust you because they don't buy a product because of the company name. In network marketing, they buy a product because they know, like, and trust you, and they want the benefits to that product. They have been using a product and then you say, hey, listen, I am moving over, I'm gonna be doing this instead. Then if you have good reason, you're not just changing companies over and over and over, like one to the next, the next, then the trust is still gonna be there. They may or may not buy from you at the new company. They may or may not continue to buy the product from the other company, but they're still going to trust you. They're still going to like you. They might just watch and be like, oh, okay, she's doing something new now. Let me see what this is about and check it out first. Or they might be super fans or like, hey, wherever you're going, I'm there. I'm with you. I want whatever it is because I trust what you have been promoting before. I trust you as a person. So it doesn't matter. If you have it included in your everyday and in your social media marketing, but it's not who you are, it's just like a part of who you are, you know, meaning that you talk about other things too, and you're not talking about name of the company, right? I'll reference Jessie Lee Ward again. She did tons and tons and tons of network marketing training, and she would train people from every company, but she, in her stories, like she would talk about, you know, she was into travel. She loved her dogs. She was always kind of searching for that right man. And then the last year of her life, she found the man of her dreams, right? They dated for a year. So she shared a lot of her personal story. Like, so thousands of people around the world really felt that her loss because we felt like we knew her, whether we knew her or not. She poured so much of herself into social media, but we all knew she sells ketones. She's with Prove It, right? Like, she wasn't Prove It, but Prove It and ketones were part of her life. So a lot of times, because you wanted to be closer to her, because you're attracted to her, you might buy the ketones like, I don't even care what it is. I just want something to do with Jessie Lee. And up until her last year of her life, she also didn't charge for training. So it was really hard to get one-on-one FaceTime unless you joined her team or bought from her. You know, you didn't have a lot of one-on-one time. It was just whatever she showed you on social media. That's something else to keep in mind too. Some people, like, if you're doing a good job of sharing who you are and the different facets of who you are, then it doesn't matter what you're selling. Some people are just going to want to buy it just to get closer to you. Like, let me see, you know, if I can talk to her or do something else where I can connect with this person on a more personal level rather than just social media. All right. I appreciate you so much for being here and making it all the way to the end. Make sure you watch my other videos. I do share some about fitness and I share about network marketing, and really trying to hone in on cleaning up my page right now so that I can give more and more value to you, because YouTube is where I am focusing majority of my time these days. But I will also leave information below on how you can connect with me in other ways or contact me if you need to. Drop any questions that you have or comments. I'd love to hear from you. Go from there, making more videos, answering your questions, and just being a part of this YouTube community.